Hey guys, Tyrup here, and today we're taking a look at the changes to the Commander Update Beta, and I'm going to call this version 2.0. Starting off with the general changes here to officers. All officer units can now recruit team weapons. So I think this is a nice change overall, because previously things like the Sturm Officer, Commissar couldn't actually pick up team weapons when they are decrewed, which could sometimes deny the opportunity, especially with the Commissar, has the grenade. Pretty good chance of decrewing a team weapon. That was very, very annoying not being able to pick up a team weapon with the Commissar. So I like this change overall, and it does make things a bit more balanced because officers for, say, US forces could pick up team weapons, whereas other ones didn't, and that's a little bit confusing. So good change there. Plane crashes. While the previous change helped reduce the impact of plane crashes, they did not stop hostile planes from wiping out squads on the opposing side due to their ability to crush. The following change fixes that issue. Planes no longer have infantry crush. So yeah, that's, as it says there, hostile planes, kind of similar to tanks, could actually crush units as they landed, and that was still allowing planes to wipe squads occasionally. US forces, the 240mm artillery, the first shell damage is being increased from 320 to 400, and that should allow it to one-shot howitzers, so nice little change there for Armour Company. The M26 Pershing, the Vet 3 reload bonus is being increased slightly from 30 to 35%. I think at one stage it used to be 50% though, right? But I think this kind of change has been somewhat enabled by the fact that combined arms is not quite as strong anymore. Now the Pershing can get a little bit more through its veterancy, through its stock performance instead of through combined arms. The 76mm Sherman is seeing its rate of fire decreased to be more in line with other turreted tanks. The reload time on the standard shell, not the high velocity armor piercing one, goes up by 0.75 on the reload. So for comparison, the Panzer IV I think is 5.3 to 5.7. So still faster reload than a Panzer IV. And it's got a good rate of fire, pretty good penetration, but I don't know. Mechanized already seen quite a few nerfs. The dozer blades got removed. Combined arms getting nerfed. There's a buff for mechanized in this patch to the Dosi 51, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it might be a step too far. I don't know. This is still seeing quite a lot of play in the Master League at the moment, especially after the Commander vetoes. Still performing reasonably well on pretty high selection rate, but yeah, this might. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. The Bulldozer Sherman here is having its barrage slightly reworked. It's going to be moved to Vet 1, kind of similar to the Brumbier, but now its range is getting improved from 50, pretty short, to 70. So now it's actually going to outrange anti-tank guns, which is like really, really strong. Kind of similar to the SU-76. I think that has 80 range on its barrage. Kind of means you can, it's got quite a lot of scatter at that range, but, you can barrage safely on an anti-tank gun before they can get in range to return fire on you. It means you end up taking a lot less damage overall. The shell count is also being increased from 4 to 5, so that's pretty nice. And then because Radio Net, the previous one ability, is getting removed, now the Vet 3 reload bonus is being improved from 10% to 20%. So yeah, some reworks there to the Dozer. So we're taking a look at the revised 105 howitzer barrage on the Dozer Sherman. Now requires Vet 1, but has received some buffs. Thought I'd quickly demonstrate how far it can shoot. Here's the regular range of the pack, and the howitzer barrage will be able to fire all this way. But I'm going to turn the fog of war on for this test, since this is more likely how it's going to be used. See how it goes against the pack at this range. I'm going to run this test 3 times. Got 3 setups like this, so we can see how it goes. So the Bulldozer, the Brumbier, I believe, first shell is pinpoint accurate, which is part of what makes it so effective. But a pretty good scatter on that one overall. There gets the decrew. I think it was on the 3rd shell, maybe the 4th shell.
Jump to it.
Left that splat there so I could see, or I knew what to target. No cover there though from it. Not that it would matter. Did I slightly mistarget that? It seemed like a lot of shells landing to the right on that occasion. Kind of landing around as well.
Crew ready. Jump to it.
Oh, where the hell did that one go?
That was closer than I'd like.
Okay, so yeah, extra shell definitely makes an impact if the unit stays in the vicinity. Not guaranteed to wipe an anti-tank gun though. Scatter, you know, as I said, not guaranteed. And what was up with that shell? Scatter's super long. The Sherman Easy-8. The following change gives the Easy-8 additional options when not being upgraded with its pintle. We are still reviewing the capabilities of this tank. However, we do not want to greatly improve the Easy-8's anti-infantry power due to its ability to defeat most medium tanks, thanks to its additional armor and health. So now there's an alternative upgrade to the 50 cal pintle. It's going to be the Tank Commander, and you can't get them both at once. Grants 10% plus 10 sight and plus 10% weapon accuracy. So this will kind of reinforce its role, you know, as an anti-tank rather than generalist, and probably will make it quite a lot stronger. Plus 10 sight. It's going to be self-spotting at that stage with the bonus range. It's going to make it really, really powerful in tank v tank fights. Quick look at the Easy-8's Tank Commander upgrade here. 25 munitions. Very fast upgrade time on this.
Mount that 50.
Yeah, it looks like it's maybe like 2 or 3 times faster than the 50 cal, so it's maybe worth noting. Quite a fast upgrade timer on it. I want to see if he pops out of the hatch and what he looks like. Yeah, there he is. And here's the sight range of 10, 20, 30, 45. I guess I need to come slightly further forwards. There we go. And yeah, basically at this point, self-spotting, you can see the edge of the attack range here. 45 range. With the latest patch. And you can see to the same distance. The Greyhound is getting its machine gun upgrade reduced in cost from 60 to 45 munitions. Paratroopers, all variants, all upgrades now shared amongst the Paratrooper varieties. Mines and demo charges still stay unique to their respective variants. So it's worded a little bit confusingly, so we'll have to test these in game, see what's available to which Paratrooper squad. So I'm testing out the different Paratroopers here, and over here we've got the ones from Airborne. See, we've got all 3 upgrades now, and they've got the demo charge. Whereas over here we've got the support squad, and now you can build mines. I thought previously you had to upgrade the bazooka package to get the mines with these paratroopers. So now maybe they're available as stock, so that's the difference. Demo charge on these ones, mines as stock on these ones. This makes the paratrooper support squad quite a lot more appealing. Now you don't even have to upgrade the bazookas to get the mines. So that's an interesting change. But yeah, now you have access to all 3 of the weapons packages on both paratroopers. Rifleman, Vet 3 plus 35% range bonus now also affects flares, so the flares from Rifle Company going to have a bit more range on the Vet 3 Rifleman. And finally, the WC-51, to bring back some of the mobile aspects of US Forces vehicles that is found in the faction. The WC-51 is gaining a self-repair ability, so now has access to crew self-repair for 25 munitions, so you know, kind of same cost as a snare. You'll be able to repair off some damage. So if you look at the WC-51 self-repair here, 25 munitions. I'm going to have a little bit of a repair race against the Universal Carrier. Got the health table here so we can see exactly how much health it repairs. Also got an engine critical on the WC-51 to see if it needs to, whether it will remove the engine critical or if it needs to get to the 75% health threshold to remove the engine critical or not. So here we go.
Get to it. All done over here.
So it looks like they the same. That healed a little bit more health though, 117.525. Interesting.
Waiting orders.
Same story over here. That's interesting. a little bit over 100 health. I wonder if that was caused by me sitting down to 0, or maybe something related to the removal of the critical. But yeah, okay, let's look at the new group here. In fact, we'll do this while moving here. So yeah, you can't do it while moving.
Boys, roll us out.
Have to be stationary. Interesting. So yeah, let's look at the crew up here for the WC-51. No engine damage on it this time. Pairing it up from 40 health. See how much health it gets healed.
All done over here.
Okay, so still 117. Interesting. Moving on to the British, we have defensive operations. This is part of the advanced emplacements. Now, infantry sections can build mines and barbed wire, which is pretty strong. Early warning, these are the flares that are available in Royal Artillery. Early warning's ability to light up all frontline sectors made it very efficient, particularly in large game modes with minimal input. The changes below will make early warning a choice of which area they want to target. So the cost is going down by a pretty good amount. And now it's a target ability that will only light up one sector, one frontline sector as well. You can't do it this at the back. So yeah, previously I think in team games this was like just completely busted. But now much more fair. Even in 1v1's extremely strong. Much more fair now. Here we're taking a look at the revised early warning flares here. Cheaper in cost, but only illuminating one sector. But, you know, starting things off here, I feel like there's a little bit of an issue where, you know, here's a connected enemy sector on the front line. Now I can activate the flare in the sector just fine. But, so here's a sector not connected, and I can't use a flare over here. Same with neutral territory over here. So I feel like, you know, neutral territory, even like enemy controlled territory that's not connected, I feel like you probably should be able to use a flare in those sectors. Otherwise, it feels maybe a little bit limited. Like neutral territory that's adjacent to territory that you own that's connected. So I feel like that's still the front line. But anyway, I want to see how it would go now.
Front line should be illuminated.
How much it would reveal.
Flare coordinates received.
Now that's not going to reveal like a whole bunch of sectors at once. That didn't fire any flares at all. What?
Flares in the air. Artillery battery firing flares now.
Well, I don't know about that one. It seems to be bugged. Oh, I thought I just heard something fire. Yeah, here we go. So I have to have sight of this before it starts firing the flares. So I'm going to fire these flares off again. This time I'm not going to reveal them.
Orders understood. Target area will be illuminated.
So it doesn't look like it's going to fire the flares off. Now I'm going to come in here with the squad and reveal the area. And then I hear the flare triggering once I can see the area. So yeah, it seems like these flares are quite buggy at the moment. I feel like they probably should be able to be used on neutral territory adjacent to your friendly connected territory. I consider that to be the front line. And they should be able to activate without having sight on the area, I feel. Do reveal like a decent chunk for their cost, but yeah, a bit too limited and seem a little bit buggy at the moment. Forward assembly, minor changes will make it more friendly and resource efficient, as you will not need multiple assemblies for forward HQ and healing. Advanced assembly is also having its cost reduced to make it less manpower intensive and similar to Soviet repair station in terms of cost. Medics and forward command HQ upgrades no longer mutually exclusive, so I believe this is, you know, the forward retreat point and medics. Now upgrade them both on a forward assembly. You know, I don't know if this is like 100% necessary. You know, you can build medics as Brits and put them on the HQ if you really want to, but alright. And the advanced assembly repair upgrade is going from 200 manpower to 100 manpower and 45 munitions. The forward observation post strafing run was capable of destroying full squads reliably, which made it the most potent ability for the forward observation outpost, overshadowing all the others. Following change makes the ability a suppression tool meant to stop massed infantry assaults. So cost is going down by 25 munitions. Suppression is getting triple basically. Suppression radius is getting increased a lot, but the damage is getting halved. So personally, I'm a little bit sad about this. I think this is the damage that per plane the IL-2 Soviet Loiter does. And you know, they have 2 planes. So it's just a single plane, I believe, and quite likely to get shot down as well. This was, as it said, the most powerful ability already on a thing that doesn't get used too much. I suppose the artillery cover's like pretty strong on this still, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit sad about this change overall. Time to test out the observation post strafing run ability with its revision. So what I've got here is the Osttruppen one. I'm going to use that up here in the top. Then we've got the Soviet one. I'm going to use that in the center. And then finally down the bottom, I'm going to use the revised British one down here at the bottom where the planes can reach. I figured I'd do this, you know, as a bit of comparison, see how it all shakes out. So this is the same cost as this, the Osttruppen one.
Air support is coming as requested. Cab rank
See how the damage compares.
The tactical air force is sending support.
So we got a lot of suppression from that one. Ooh, okay. Missed the first pass on this one, I apologize. More damage than the Osttruppen one for sure. Keep eyes on this one mainly. So AoE suppression is pretty decent, hitting 2 squads reasonable distance away. Damage is still, like, reasonable. Looks like overall it performed maybe even a tiny bit better than the Soviet IL-2s in this test, which is kind of interesting. Wonder if the fact that this is in a bit of a gully has something to do with that. I don't know. Then up here for the Osttruppen one, mainly pinning. 1 squad down to half health, a little bit of extra damage over here. So, okay. You know, it does seem maybe comparative. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like the IL-2s usually do a bit more damage than this. But maybe comparative to the IL-2s in terms of damage. But once again, it's on 1 plane rather than 2. So, quite a lot easier to shoot down this ability. Raid section. We are continuing to make changes to the raid section, with the main change being the reduction of the unit's long-range DPS, making them function somewhat differently to standard infantry sections during fights. We are continuing to monitor the unit with possible plans to alter additional weapons to focus their range for mid-short range combat. So the cost is going up by 20 manpower, and 1 model now carries the Thompson SMG, similar to those used by USF officers, and the sprint cost is going up from 10 to 15 munitions. So yeah, I'm not too sure about these changes to the raid section overall. I know that in previous testing, you know, they're very, very strong, kind of like a bolstered infantry section, just very good long range. But I feel like now with 1 Thompson SMG, it's kind of like intruding on the rest of the doctrine. You know, this is in mobile assault, the raid section is available. And, you know, you've got the M2 flamethrower. So you're kind of encouraged to go for, you know, maybe 1 or 2 Royal Engineers with the flamethrowers. That's kind of a close range squad. And then you've got the infiltration commandos as well. Another close range squad, and then you're stacking the raid section on top of that as well, which is again another close range squad. And I feel like there's a little bit too much congestion there in terms of abilities, so not too sure about this change to the raid section. So we're checking out the revised raid section here. It's now got a Thompson on 1 of the models. So what I'm going to be doing is charging them into some Volks communities with the STGs upgraded. Behind if you cover, see how it all shakes out. See if they can win this engagement. This is, of course, before the Vickers K, but I just want to see how they go. Thompson model is quite far back, so might not get focused too early on that occasion. Same story over there and over there. So on all of these occasions, Thompson model's gonna be able to close the distance.
The ability is ready.
Sounds like this one died just then. This one, Thompson stayed till the end, got down to 2 models. Maybe a similar story over here. This one, Thompson model died 3rd, I think. Over half health, 4 models remaining. Alright, so now the raid section upgrade with the Vickers. Remember, this does come online in the 2nd stage of Tech Company Command, so a little bit later on. And I'm going to charge them into Volks Grenadiers at Vet 1 already. You know, maybe this is a realistic scenario. Infantry sections don't gain any combat bonuses at Vet 1, whereas Volks Grenadiers do, but this is just a rough idea how it'll go. Maybe you'll be 1-star vet behind with the raid sections that come online at 1 command point. Interesting.
Lost a unit.
So the margin there looking pretty similar overall compared to not having the Vickers. Alright. I don't really plan to do like extensive testing on the raid section. It looks like it hasn't even been changed here to 300 manpower. But yeah, I feel like in this current iteration, I don't think it's going to stay like this, so I don't want to do like really extensive testing on it and for all the effort to be wasted. But let's a quick look at the raid section with the new Thompson. OKW off-map rocket barrage. This is the one in Firestorm Commander. Just to guarantee that it can kill howitzers after the last set of changes, the penetration is getting increased slightly from 60 to 80, and the AoE penetration also increased. So yeah, guaranteed kill a howitzer now. The Panzer Fusilier changes, as I said in the first version, they're getting reverted, so no changes to Fusiliers overall this patch. Sturm Officer, the 50 sight range is being moved from the officer model to the squad. So previously if the officer model died or would lose its bonus sight, the squad would. So now it's always going to have 50 sight range. I think that's a nice change overall. And when activating Forced Retreat, the Sturm Officer receives plus 20% received accuracy for 10 seconds. So yeah, a little bit, I feel like this may be a tiny bit strange. I know Forced Retreat is pretty strong, but it also costs 50 munitions, I think. So, you know, kind of sacrificing like a whole weapon upgrade, maybe like throwing 2 grenades, close to 2 mines, stuff like that, which could also maybe force retreats in those kind of scenarios. So, okay, well, you know, it's definitely a nerf to force retreat here. Having a quick look at the Sturm Officer's sight here, you can see out to 50 range, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's a really good line. So what I'm curious is, now that you can crew team weapons with it, can the team weapons then see 50 sight? Because in this patch as well, there was a change where Pathfinders can no longer see that far. So that's 10, 20, 30, 35, I guess, because there are 2 models standing forward, so that's why I can see a little bit further. So no, officer models from the Sturm Officer jumping onto a machine gun are not going to get bonus sight. It costs 35 manpower to reinforce. So even though you can pick up a team weapon with your officer, with that reinforcement cost, no bonus sight, probably, you know, in a pinch you can do it, but it's going to be very expensive. Thorough Salvage is a fairly weak ability that only benefits in select circumstances where there are objects to salvage. We are given the ability an additional option to allow OKW more repair options early on, allowing their Sturm Pioneers to take on other tasks. Grants an upgrade to Volks Grenadiers repair kit for 20 munitions, allow Volks Grenadiers to repair when upgraded, does not take up any weapon slots, and the Volks Grenadiers repair at a speed of 1.25 per model for a total of 6.25. Guess we can do some repair speed races. So time for a repair speed race here. We've got 3 tanks on 0 health. First off, we have the Volks Grenadiers with the new Thorough Salvage repair kit, 20 munitions. You can unlock this straight away. Whereas conscript repair kits, for instance, come at 5 command points, so a bit of a differential there. Maybe, you know, partially explaining the cost of them. So we're going to have them, Sturm pies with the sweepers, and then conscript repairs, all repairing up a tank, and let's see who wins the race. So there we go, Sturm pies with the sweepers are done, and it looks like the other two maybe ever so slightly above halfway at that same stage. And then the Volks Grenadiers and the Conscripts finishing at basically the exact same time given the delays. So yeah, that's the look at the difference. I suppose Conscripts are going to go up to 7 models at one stage probably, so later on they will take the advantage, but yeah, 5 models of Volks Grenadiers equal to 6 models of Conscripts. Whilst there, Mechanized Commander, the smoke bombs are being replaced with the LFH. A lot of people were quite sad about the LFH getting removed from this commander, so now it's the smoke bombs that are going to get removed from the commander instead. Osttruppen, the increase in bonus accuracy will give Osttruppen slightly more firepower in the late game with their upgrades. Bonus accuracy when using slot items from plus 25% to plus 50%. So this change is a little bit confusing. I was very confused by it. But we have to go back to the old changes. So this is part of the patch that actually didn't get included in the main patch notes, unfortunately. So it's kind of hard to find this stuff out and a little bit confusing. So way back in the day, Osttruppen used to get a plus 300% accuracy bonus onto slot items, which meant that in cover, with the slot item, Osttruppen were like basically the strongest squad in the game, which was a problem. So back in this patch, I think this is 3 or 4 years ago now, back when Kyle was still the community manager, they got changed to slot items had a 50% accuracy penalty and then no cover bonus. So then where this fits into everything is they've still got the 50% accuracy penalty on slot items, so that's out of cover and in cover, but now with this bonus, in cover, they get plus 50%, so they've still got, so it's 0.5 times 1.5, so 0.75 accuracy compared to like a regular Grenadier MG42 in cover, basically. It's the most common use case at least. So yeah, that's confusing. I was very confused by this. Luckily managed to clear this one up. So that's how it works, I believe. Osttruppen in cover, the LMG is going to be 0.75 accuracy compared to a regular Grenadier MG42. So still not quite as strong as a Grenadier. So here we are, we've got the Osttruppen with the LMG upgraded, Vet 3 against Vet 3 7-man conscripts, kind of like an end-game power test between these two, both in cover. See how they go. So there we go, a win across the board for Osttruppen, often with 4 models like half health remaining. So this is worrying. Like, you know what monsters 7-man conscripts behind cover are, and then Osttruppen quite handily beat them. It's just too strong. They're too strong. I know this is like a more isolated use case. Osttruppen have to be in cover. They don't have the URA. Same as conscripts, maybe a little bit less utility in that department, but this is too strong. As simple as that. Panzer IV command tank. You may remember that there were 2 Vet 1 abilities. New ones floated for this tank. Light artillery barrage and mark target. So mark target's going to be the one that is selected. Previously was named mark vehicle, now mark target. Keeps the ability's name on par with the WC-51's ability, which has similar effects. And the strategic bombing run. This is a big set of bombs. Delay getting decreased by a good margin here, from 10 down to 5. Onto the Soviets now, starting out with the assault guards. The following change puts assault guards on par with other elite infantry in terms of cost. While not the most powerful unit, they do have very strong scaling thanks to their veterancy and upgrades. So their cost is going up from 300 to 340. Maybe kind of moving them more in line with like Rangers with this change. The B4 is having its damage increased on its barrage and reload times reduced to allow more shells to reach the target zone faster, with the shells that do arrive causing more damage to structures and vehicles. Do note that the large wind down time, putting its reload at 8 seconds between shells versus the ML20's 5 seconds total reload time. So yeah, reload time on the B4 going way down, 4.3 seconds removed from that. The damage is going up from 300 to 400. The AoE is getting a slight rework here, maybe to compensate for the increased damage, kind of counteracting that. So the AoE is going to be roughly the same as previously. Or maybe it's not, because the AoE is actually getting increased from 10 to 12. So I guess we'll see how this goes in the in-game testing. Take a look at the revised B4 Howitzer Barrage now. From 300 to 400 damage, slight rework on the AoE, faster reload. Let's see what it does. Got the fog off again. Might improve the scatter, but can do recon planes with it. So even with a shot like that far away, still doing quite a lot of health damage to the Grenadiers. That was a closer to direct hit, but look at that, even health damage to these Grenadiers over here. So the AoE on it is going to be pretty good against infantry, even if they're not that close. So there we go, 3 shots. Actually pretty tight scatter there as well. Almost knocking out the Panzer IV. You know, if it doesn't dodge away at all, then it gave this a lot of veterancy as well. Go for another barrage down here. Got speed ups on, in case you're wondering. Pretty big hit, close to direct, I would say. So you get to see how much it took off that Panzer IV. It was a little bit wounded before that, but interesting. So yeah, obviously still can't one-shot a Panzer IV, but you know, with the improved reload, reworked AoE, it does seem to be quite a lot better than the previous iterations. The IL-2 Sturm strafing run, command point requirements of this are going down from 10 to 8. That makes a lot of sense, I think. Lend-Lease, the previous change, the Dishka was going to go to the 50 cal. That's getting reverted. It's going to stay as the Dishka. In Shock Army, the IL-2 recon run getting replaced with armor vehicle detection, the freshly buffed. I think the idea here was maybe Shock Army was going to be a bit too strong with the bombs, the advanced medium, with the recon run, and so now it's getting a slight nerf here, I feel, with armored vehicle detection instead. And finally, for the bug fixes, Rifleman Molotov hotkey issue. Fix an issue with Soviet bunker gave 45 sight rather than 40. Good there. Fix an issue where Soviet bunker would take 45 seconds to upgrade rather than 20. Fix an issue where the officer's strafing run and the recon shared the same hotkey. Another hotkey issue fixed. Fix an issue where combat engineers were still not affected by vehicle detection. Nice. Fix an issue where the LEFH airburst barrage did not cost munitions. Fix an issue where Hold the Line did not provide a second set of planes. Fix an issue where 17-pounder needed Vet 1 for its HV barrage. And fix an issue where Assault Guard grenade volley was not affected by suppression. Nice set of bug fixes there. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and a special thank you to my Patreon backers. Cheer to the cheer.